Hey, I'm Rachael,
And I'm Amanda, and this is Beyond a Ballot.
powered by DoorDash. Hello and welcome to another episode of Beyond a Ballot. Hi, Amanda.
Hi, Rach.
The program that we used to record this podcast looks very different this week, so I feel like we're like in a new studio. It's so fancy.
It is fancy.
It's not our normal scene here. How has your week been?
It has been a busy week, and as always, the politics keeps rolling. It's been
Sure
lots to talk
does.
about this week.
Okay, before we dive into the politics, I have a question for our audience. It's a mom question. I was literally like, who would know this? And I'm like, I'm going to put it out on the podcast. My daughter, my 3-year-old, put her hair in paint, like house paint. Yep. Just stuck it in there.
What do you mean?
Rubbed her head. My husband gave them indoor interior paint for their outdoor picnic table so that they could paint it. And he thought it was so cute. So then she put her head down into the paint. It's now been 10 days. She still has white hair. And
you
her
can't
teacher
get it out?
today, no, her teacher asked me about it today. And I thought, how am I going to get this out? So I'm putting it out to you, our listeners.
Oh my God.
What's the solution here? Or is
Could
she
you use
stuck with
something
white hair
like-
forever?
Could you use something like, I don't know, like WD-40 or something?
Oh my
Doesn't
God.
that take everything out of everything?
Like magic erase her hair? Oh, maybe I should try that.
I mean, I think
Yeah.
Haven't you Googled this?
No, I haven't actually. You're right. Okay. Well, maybe I'll Google before I go to our podcast.
I feel like
listeners.
ChatGPT can tell us what to do.
Oh, you're right.
What to do. I just can't believe you've let her walk around for 10 days this way.
That's
not reasonable.
I don't know what to do. She's got white paint all over her hair. So if anybody has ever experienced this, please send me your best tips.
That is hilarious.
Thank you. Okay. Now we can move into, can we start with quasi politics first?
Tell me.
My favorite story of the week.
What?
The Katy Perry, Justin Trudeau
Of course.
saga continues.
Is it a saga or is it a love story?
It's a love story.
It's
Is
definitely a
saga
love story.
mean bad? No.
No, I just think it means like dramatic or something.
It is so dramatic. I find it so dramatic. I want to know what they're thinking, what they're doing, every hand gesture. So for those that missed it, Justin Trudeau accompanied Katy Perry on the red carpet. I think this is the first time we've seen them together on a red carpet this week at the Tribeca Film Festival in New York. She was premiering her movie, which is about her shows. And it sounds like it's something kind of like what Taylor Swift did, where it's like live concerts. We saw so much footage of them in the car, them on the red carpet, them in the theater. And it was so interesting to see a former prime minister with a microphone in his face and talking not about politics. Didn't you find that?
Yeah. Like I'm fascinated for so many reasons. So in the car, she posts this on her Instagram, I think. Right? In the car, she talks about, I guess her fans call themselves like Katy Cats and Katy Rats.
Yes.
And what it means to be a Katy Cat and what it means to be a Katy Rat. And she's explaining this to Trudeau. And it is hysterical because it feels so out of place. Like, what are you talking about? Is he really into is he like, what? Or is he like, yeah, tell me more? I don't know. You have to go watch it and you tell us what you think of that moment.
He was so cute in that, just listening to her talk about this cat rat thing. I'm way too old to like understand what she's even talking about.
I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, we have no idea, but we just love the love story. And then on the red carpet, he was like rubbing her stomach. There was questions about if she's pregnant.
Do you think?
And so many people wrote into me and they said there will be a wedding by the end of 2026. That's the prediction.
That's so soon.
That's so soon. But they're so in love. She called him the love of her life.
And there was a lot of like deep eye gazing.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Is
like,
this the
they
love
were
story?
posing in an eye gaze.
Is this the love story that we all need right now?
It really is. I think it really is. And again, it's like Justin Trudeau is living his best life.
Best life.
Pierre Poilievre, if you're listening to this, man, you just handed him literally his best life. Like, it doesn't get better than this.
I know.
It didn't work out for him.
And we always talk about this in the context of this story, but he went out with such a bang. And to have this revival tour where he's so happy.
So happy.
You know what? He's making everybody happy. I had conservatives reach out to me, liberals, doesn't matter.
Happy. Everybody's a JT fan now. I love it.
Everyone loves a love story, especially when we're dealing with crazy politicians.
And there's so much crazy right now.
Should we just talk about Trump? Should we start there? If we must. So Donald Trump this week said he was asked about CUSMA. Obviously, July 1st is coming up. That is the deadline for them to decide where they're going to go with this free trade agreement. Are they going to renegotiate it? Are they going to keep it the same? There's been a lot of talk that July 1st deadline is not going to happen. There's not going to be a final verdict on that. But today, Trump said that might not renew it. He might not renew it. And that is billions and billions of dollars in tariffs that even a 1% increase would bring in. So there's a lot on the line for Canada. We haven't heard Trump be this forceful with CUSMA before. And so I think it was a shocker. I think there was a lot of people that were a bit scared because what we've been hearing from the Canadian government, and we saw Dominique LeBlanc in Washington last week, was that, talks are happening and we'll see what happens. Were you surprised?
Yeah, I think a couple of things to note about CUSMA is that it came into force on July 1st, 2020, and has an initial 16-year term ending on July 1st, 2036. But the parties are scheduled to meet on July 1st, 2026, the 6th anniversary of its entry, to review the agreement and consider whether or not they want to extend it, right?
Exactly.
So if all three parties confirm in writing that they wish to continue the agreement, the term is extended. If they do not, then CUSMA remains in force and it just becomes subject to annual joint reviews. So it's not like on July 1st, because I think there's this feeling that people have that like, oh my gosh, if there isn't something by July 1st, the whole thing is gone. And that's not the case.
Right.
But there is this July 1st deadline in terms of reviewing. But the whole thing doesn't fall apart in whatever it is, 20, how many days is that away? 20 days?
21 days. Yeah. But yeah, that's a good point. And also Canada and Mexico have both written formal letters to the United States asking that they continue on, that it be extended for the full 16 years. So I don't think Trump wrote us back on that one. We're waiting, but it seems like, especially with the escalation and the number of Canadian government officials that are down in Washington negotiating this, you would think that Trump would either stay out of it or be somewhat hopeful, or I don't know, maybe I'm delusional, but we even saw Doug Ford down in Washington this week. So there has been a lot of eyes on Washington.
Yeah, and I think we've said this a million times before, but the only thing that's certain is the uncertainty. And, there's a lot of speculation about what could happen, what will Trump do, will he not do, how much of the Iran war will play, how much will his polls and numbers play. There's so many factors right now that really inhibit us from being able to have a concrete point of view. We can speculate, but have a concrete point of view of what could happen. I think that the signals that we get from the Canadian government seem to be moderate, maybe even slightly cautiously optimistic. I don't know if I'm projecting a bit, but the last time Dominique LeBlanc was in Washington. He reiterated to the press during his very short press conference that there was some progress, that things weren't easy, but that they were at the table. And, you know, whenever they're at the table, it means that talks are continuing, and that's a good thing. So I think that when we hear of, our politicians, many politicians of all stripes crossing the border, I think that there's some desire, that there's some hope that we're working toward the extension of that agreement.
Exactly. And the thing that's on the table for context is that we have, under CUSMA, there are a ton of things. I think 90% of goods under CUSMA, because of CUSMA, are exempt from the tariffs, the crazy tariffs that Donald Trump keeps bringing in. And so like I said, there's so much on the line for Canada, for the Canadian economy, for investment in the country, that they can't jump into something crazy. And if they just keep going, we'll keep going with status quo. So hopefully it works out for us. I'm a bit stressed about it, to be honest.
Are you? Well, I think that the good news is, and something that I think Carney has really been hailed for, is that he didn't just sit back and say, you know what, we're going to rest. We're going to put all of our chips on this one deal. And he's gone out and he's done the hard work to diversify our trade agreements and arrangements with so many other nations. And, you know, those things don't happen overnight, but I think that it positively impacts our outlook and also strengthens our position at the negotiating table. I think those things are helpful. So again, though, with Trump, all of the normal rules might not apply. So
yeah,
it may depend on his mood of the day. It may depend on how Spencer Pratt did in the LA race. It may depend on who knows what keeps this guy going or brings him back to the
Spencer
table.
Pratt mention on this podcast.
God. Are we going to talk about him today? We should talk about him.
I don't know anything about him.
What?
I mean, other than like the
Rachael.
Hills, obvious. Like I know who Spencer Pratt is, but I'm not watching his mayoral race.
Well, he's out now. Thank God.
What?
Faith in humanity has prevailed. Yes.
This is breaking news. When did this happen?
This happened earlier this week.
What?
So only 2 candidates advanced to the November. Is it called a nomination?
Yeah.
I think it's called a nomination. Only 2 candidates advance. And so those preliminary votes, and he was running a second for some time, actually, behind Karen Bass. And
wow,
he just got edged out. So, of course, what happened when he got edged out? Now there's all kinds of conspiracy theories helped by the president that, you know, it was rigged or that the numbers weren't counted properly or yada, yada, yada. But Spencer Pratt did promise that if he did not become the mayor of LA, that he would leave LA.
Really?
He made that promise on several occasions.
He did an entire television show about living in LA.
He really did.
He is like the epitome of LA. And Heidi.
But the crazy thing about it is that, I mean, we're talking about a reality TV star. Like, we've heard this. We know this script. A reality TV star that has no business running anything, sunk, I don't know, multi-millions of dollars into his weird, it's like crystals. He had like a crystal business.
Oh.
Yeah. A weird. So no offense to anyone who is into crystals, but yeah, I mean,
crystals are great.
Crystals are fine, but this is and hummingbirds. This was his thing.
Hummingbirds.
And then here's the thing. He's kind of a marketing, or at least hired someone who's a marketing genius. Was able to produce ads that really captivated people. Like powerful, engaging ads that went completely viral.
Oh, yeah.
And before you know it, this guy who really has no business, truly no business leading anything, let alone, you know, one of the most powerful cities in the world, is actually in contention. And that was a scary thought.
Do you know, my husband actually said to me once, do you know who Spencer Pratt is? And I was like, do you know who Spencer Pratt is? Like, he really picked up momentum.
Yes, he did. And I mean, it was a very close, really close matchup.
It's also an interesting, concept in terms of how we sell politicians, what we look for in politicians, and how the internet plays such a huge part in campaigns now. You can basically sell anything to anybody.
For sure. Oh, it's called a November runoff.
That's what it's called.
Not nomination.
You're right.
November, it was they have advanced to the November runoff, 2 Democrats. He was the quote unquote Republican candidate. He is now out of the running. It was.
Do you think he's going to move to Canada? Like, what's going to happen here?
I mean, I think we're going to see him on a ballot somewhere for sure. Yeah, I don't think that this is the end of Spencer Pratt. He has now, I think, almost close to 2 million followers. He has the backing of the president. I mean, my God. We all know where this is going now.
Jeez, how many more years do we have of Trump? He could be anything in that administration.
He could be anything.
Oh my God.
He could be he could be Secretary of State. He could be anything.
Lord, if the star of the hills is the Secretary of State in the United States, every millennial mom in the country will just be like, what is happening? I can't even. Spencer Pratt, ladies and gentlemen, never thought we'd be talking about him on a political podcast. But I want to dive into something that you were talking about, and that's trade diversification, because we found out this week also that Mark Carney is going to be going to Europe next week. He's going for the G7 meeting that's happening. Interestingly, it was moved by one day to accommodate Donald Trump's birthday so that he could celebrate in the United States. So before he gets to the G7, he's visiting, I believe, France and Ireland. And it's expected that that's going to revolve around trade talks, diversification of our trading partners. The thing that I like, let's play that out for a second. He goes, he does all these photo ops, press conferences in these countries, and then he goes to the G7 and into the room with Donald Trump, and Trump's been watching him for like the last 3 days go and try and diversify all this trade. Is this going to be a problem for CUSMA, for negotiations, for the Canada-US deal?
I mean, I have the same answer I had 5 minutes ago. Who knows? It's going to depend on God knows what. If he, woke up and had the wrong cereal, we don't know. Does it mean that Carney then comes from a position of strength? Does it mean that he's somehow offended the president?
Right.
We don't know. And
we don't know.
And so because we can't know, because we don't know, because we cannot know, I think that all the prime minister can do is continue to do the right things in the best interests of the country, of Canadians. So he presents proposals, he makes deals with other nations. He does that in the best interests of the country, and he cannot rely. We cannot deepen our reliance on the US. We have to weaken our reliance on the US. And the only way we can do that is by strengthening it elsewhere. So I still think he's making absolutely the right choices. Well, not entirely walking away. Nobody wants to walk away from CUSMA. I mean, he's made it very clear that he wants to reach a deal that works for the US and works for Mexico. He wants that deal for Canadians. But these are these are big gambles right now.
Can we ever get to a point where we are economically tied to Europe the way that we have been tied to the United States? And my gut instinct is no, just based on geography and history and the entanglement of our economies. And so it's a fine line that Carney has to walk next week in the European market with Trump, because we're still the numbers in Europe, even if like we diversify the Canada European trade deal, like amplifies, we're still nowhere near the amount of money that we have trading with the United States.
But he's not just doing trade deals with Europe.
Yeah,
he's doing
need
with Asia
on board.
And I mean, that alone can trump. But
Trump.
But it doesn't, I don't think any of it precludes the relationship or the desire to have the relationship with the US. Like this isn't neglecting that relationship. It's diversifying to make sure that we're not so completely reliant on this one relationship. And I think that, the world order has changed, obviously. And to continue to have that deep reliance without having other relationships, other deep trading partners is, would be a bad idea for the country. So I really do think he's doing the right thing. And I think that he does it in such a diplomatic way. He's not the kind of guy who strikes me. He's not like the bridge burner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, does he strike you that way? He doesn't. I feel like he doesn't do that.
No, I don't think that he's like that at all. I just worry that the political realm isn't his forte. It's much more on like the diplomatic, global economic kind of world. And that eventually that will become a problem politically for us. But so far, they've played it pretty close to their chest, and we can only hope that that will turn out well for Canada. But I do struggle.
I'm a believer.
You're a believer.
I am. Yeah.
I was going to make a comment about Justin Bieber and Mark
I'm a
Carney,
believer. You thought I was going to say I'm a believer?
And now, word from our title sponsor, DoorDash. We're proud to share that Beyond a Ballot continues to be powered by DoorDash. Just like we go beyond a ballot, DoorDash goes beyond delivery. DoorDash helps connect people across Canada to the restaurants and businesses they rely on every day. From providing flexible earning opportunities for Dashers to helping local businesses reach more customers, DoorDash is proud to empower communities from coast to coast. Thank you, DoorDash, for supporting this season. Okay, the big news of the week. This was huge.
Yes, big news, huge news.
Mark Miller, minister, announced that the government would be tabling a bill referred to as the Online Harms Bill, which is generally the big headline out of it is that anybody under 16 will be banned from using social media. Now, we knew this was coming, but the interesting part was what was in the bill. Do you want to tell us what was in the bill?
Well, let's start by talking about, yes, I do. I want to talk about what was in the bill.
Okay.
But I want to talk about the rationale for the bill first.
Yes.
Because I think, there's a lot of people who are listening to this who are moms and they're just like us.
Yep.
And I feel like, I'm a mom of a 12-year-old. So I'm definitely in the sweet spot of having, first of all, being surrounded by other moms who feel completely exasperated right now. Like, there's no winning. Like, it's, there was a conservative MP earlier this week. I can't remember who it was, a Saskatchewan MP. And he was like, parents just need to be better parents. And I thought, wow, what an insult to the millions of parents who are like just honestly at our wits' end. These platforms are built to be addictive. These platforms are built to capture attention, to reward compulsive behavior, to keep users scrolling. I'm an adult and I find it hard to resist.
Totally.
So asking 12 and 13, 14 and 11 and 10-year-olds to resist is completely unrealistic. We are their power. We cannot match that. Parents. You know what I mean? So I think the burden is in two places. The burden is on the billion-dollar tech companies. If they're going to profit off of our children's attention, then they should prove that it's safe. And if they can't prove that it's safe, then they should be prevented from targeting our kids. And the government has a role, in my view, to regulate. The same way, like, seatbelts is a good example. We didn't put seatbelts into place because every car crash was fatal. Right? Governments regulate things when they feel that children are at risk. Even if not every child is harmed. Not every child is harmed by being on social media. But some are, and there's a responsibility for the government to regulate that. The same way we have like helmets or car seats or age limits on alcohol or tobacco or gambling. Social media, in my view, should be viewed with the same lens. So that I think is the rationale. I mean, that's not exactly the way that Mark Miller said it, but I do think that when I listened to the press conference today, all 45 minutes of it, and the experts that got up to talk about also all of the public health concerns, the kids that are dealing with anxiety and depression and cyberbullying and, you know, body dysmorphia and blah, 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 like all the things. This is such a huge monster problem.
Exactly.
And I think parents, honestly, they just want some help. They want some help. They want to be able to say, you know what, it's not me. There's a universal age limit. Just like drinking, just like gambling, you're going to have to adhere to. And when you're old enough, when your brain is developed enough, then you get to make the choice of how you consume social media. So that's the end of my rant. That was
I'm clapping for you because that was an excellent rant. I just want to put on the record that Mark Miller is the Minister of Canadian Identity and Culture. That's why this is under him.
Yes.
And I also want to give Mark Miller a shout out because he did that. This was a controversial bill. This is something that has been coming down the pipeline for a while. A lot of companies really nervous about it. And this is a chance that the government's taking that this is going to be well received by parents across the country. There are precedents. I mean, we've heard in the last couple of days, Australia's experience and what they've done. But there's also a lot of pushback from Australian parents because you have to identify yourself in use your visual identity in order to say that you're not under 16, and it's not ideal for some people who don't want to disclose that identity to a giant tech company. And so that infringement on privacy is an issue that's come up in Australia. There's other jurisdictions that have done this too. And so like I said, we did know it was coming. Mark Miller did a great job of explaining where this government's head is at with this bill, what it is that they're going to cover. He articulated the argument really well. I, as a conservative, will give him all of this. The one blip he had is when they asked him about pornographic sites, and he replied to them.
Oh my God!
Did you laugh? The reporter asked him,
Mark Miller, what kind of answer is that?
He said, Minister, what qualifies as a pornographic site? And I think he said something like, are you asking me about my relationship with porn? Do you want to know about my relationship with pornographic sites? My jaw dropped on the floor. I couldn't believe it.
I was like, what? And honestly, it was like a 10 out of 10 press conference.
Exactly.
He's so excellent. He's such an excellent communicator. He's so thoughtful. He's all Fabulous. The things. And then he said that, and I was like, oh my God.
And he wasn't even blushing. He just wanted to know if that's what she was asking.
She clearly wasn't asking that. It was like how he interpreted the question. It was very odd. Anyway.
So we're giving Mark Miller a 9.5 out of 10.
I mean, but the rest of it was good. Yeah.
On this issue, obviously I'm going to come in and say telling parents what to do irks me. I hate that idea that the government gets to regulate. I understand the science behind it. And as a parent, you know what? That understanding that 16 is that cutoff is actually very helpful. So having that science and that background, I started thinking today, who would have thought we'd get to a place in this country where marijuana is legalized and social media is not.
But it's legalized for adults.
18, yeah.
Because when you're an adult, you can make decisions about what you consume. And when you're 11, you shouldn't.
True.
And that is the difference.
But it's the black market for marijuana versus the black market for social media that now exists for underage people. It's wild that we're at this point. But yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see how this rolls out. I give the government total kudos on their rollout today and how they're going to move it forward. I'm going to be watching the opposition and what they're going to do.
I also think that it's really important. It's not like banning children from using social media. It's putting the onus on social media companies to make their platforms safe. You can get exemptions if you are safe. These are designed. They're designed.
That's true. That's true.
They're designed to ruin our kids. Like, that's what they're designed to do. They're designed to create, like I said earlier, to reward compulsive behavior. They're designed to be addictive. The fact that videos pop up and pop up and pop up and pop up, and so you're continuing to scroll and scroll and scroll, that design is purposeful. And what these acts say is they say to the companies, you know what you're doing and you need to stop. So it's not like no person should be able to access Instagram. Yeah. No person should be able to access TikTok. No. But we need to change the way that the platforms are designed so they stop being harmful to kids. And he was asked about this 10, 12 times. Like, aren't you worried about how this will affect your trade negotiation with Trump? He's like, no, I'm worried about kids. I'm worried about Canadian kids. Yep. I'm like, thank you.
I know.
Like, if the opposition party comes, honestly, there's so many things that this one I get really fired up on, though. Opposition party
I know, I love it.
There's like, oh, no, they should be able to access porn. They should be able to access sexualized images. They should be, what kind of party are they? Really? Oh, really? That's what you think? Or we should just openly, willingly, and freely expose them to things that we know now because evidence has told us, because experts have told us is dangerous to kids. No, we shouldn't. We should limit that. And when they're old enough to make those decisions, they can make them on their own. I just have a really hard time. We're so worried about the privacy. How about we're worried about the fact that kids are committing suicide at a rate that was far greater than it was 10 or 15 years ago? How about that? Screw your privacy.
I think that the big argument that we will get from the opposition is about parents' choice. And we talk about this in the context of so many things, especially when we talk about education, that parents should be the ultimate decision makers on what their kids are learning, what schools they can go to, et cetera, et cetera. And so I think what we will see in terms of pushback from the opposition will be that parent choice argument, that it's not about, they will agree that this is bad. This is bad, but it's about educating parents to make those decisions on behalf of their children and to be the ultimate regulators of their child's social media consumption.
Anyone who says that sincerely doesn't have a teenager. I just you have no idea what you're talking about. Like, they have access. What are you talking about? They have access everywhere. It's everywhere, on every device, on everything, on every friend's device. It's everywhere. Unless you're actually policing your kid all the time. Like, I don't know what helicopter parent is like, a backpack on their child at all time. There is no way to monitor it. It's an impossibility. And I think that argument, again, it's like, oh, of course, it's just bad parenting. You know what? Any conservative member says it's bad parenting, I say F you to that member.
Whoa.
You have no idea what
That's
you're talking about.
That's the first time we've said that on
I really want to say the whole word, but I'm going to go with F you.
We're swearing friendly here.
We're so spicy today.
Oh, I love it. I love
spicy.
It. Well, I mean, you're living it. That's why ultimately these conversations matter. That's why it's important that we understand these headlines, because it's impacting our own lives. And obviously, this is something that you're going through and you're thinking about. It's something, I have 2 girls. Like, it's something I think about all the time. And so it's important to understand what the government's planning on doing.
For sure.
Being up on like what it is that you care about is so important. So
and it's
I applaud you.
Thank you. I have one word.
Yeah, please. You go. I'll just sit back and listen.
It's because I want to make sure that anyone who's listening, and I really encourage you to go and read and understand this. Like, do not just listen to the talking points on this one, please. This is about, and parents and advocacy groups have been really pressuring the government to get here. This is about obviously addressing social media's addictive features that are specifically designed exactly for that. But it's also about limiting access to predatory and dangerous content. Okay? This is important, people. There was an amazing, I can't recall who it was, but there was a woman on the panel, and she talked about how like 10 years ago there were 40 instances or something of like predatory behavior that resulted in like the death of a child or something horrendous. And 10 years later, it was over 4,000. 4,000 or 40,000. It was like, it's exponentially higher. What are we as a society if we just sit back and go, we know, we have you can't feign ignorance anymore. You know, we have the information. We are educated enough to make these decisions. Listen, you don't have to wear a seatbelt. You know, I guess a parent could we could just be like, oh, well, you know, like, I don't think my 2-year-old should be in a car seat. So screw you, government. Like, that's just dumb. That's just, no, you know, or like, well, I think that my 7-year-old is ready for beer. Okay, conservatives, that's a stupid argument. No, that's bad policy. Policies should be made. A government should only regulate things when kids are actually at risk. Our kids are at risk. Our kids are at risk if they consume alcohol, if they smoke tobacco, if they start gambling at casinos at age 10, and if they consume what they're consuming on social media right now. So that's what a responsible government does. And an irresponsible party in waiting blames parents.
Can you hear me clapping?
No, I'm really done.
I love this. I love this. You should run on that platform. There's your election platform. Go out there. Well, maybe, who knows? Maybe you want to. Okay. Well,
all right. Well, that was this is what happens when we taped at 10 o'clock at night when I should be really in bed, and instead I'm all fired up.
All fired up. Okay. All night. Okay. I'm changing the subject for 2 seconds before we wrap here. FIFA is coming to both Vancouver and Toronto. How is Toronto doing? Like, are people gearing up for the games?
Yeah, I think they are. Like, I think that there's a faction of Toronto that's afraid of the traffic.
Exactly.
And like a faction that's super excited about the matches. So I think it's a little bit of both right now.
Oh yeah. Are you going to any of them?
I am not, sadly. Oh. I'm not a massive soccer person. Like, I'm a bit of a fan, but I'm not like a super fan. So I think that those tickets should definitely go to people who are mega fans.
Yeah, mega fans. I don't know.
Who are you rooting for? Do you have a team?
I don't even know who's playing. Canada?
Yeah.
Yeah, woo, Canada. I have no clue. Soccer is not my sport. When I lived in the UK, you know, like I tried to get into rugby and soccer, just not my thing.
No.
Not my thing. I'm a baseball fan.
Oh, I mean, that's good.
Yeah. Like, I'll be watching the Blue Jays, not whatever is happening here. But Vancouver's the same. They're starting to shut down roads.
Yeah.
Everybody's getting, you know, our science world, like our big dome looks like a soccer ball. So everyone's getting in the spirit. Restaurants are doing like FIFA themed food. Are they doing that in Toronto?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's like flags and watch parties and like all kinds of fun. And I love that, because I think that energy is good for the city. I think it unites people and brings them together in a common interest that feels celebratory.
Yeah.
I'm all for that. If people like, you know, we were talking about at my own agency, and we've given people work from home days on the days of matches because traffic's going to be like kind of
That's smart. Yeah.
And just the very act of doing that inspired somebody to say we should have a watch party, and then before you know it, there's a watch party. So I like
fun.
those unifying events that bring people together.
Yeah, and I think that when we're in this moment of like stress around our position in the world and the economy, and everybody's just needs a little love story from Justin Trudeau and a little happiness from FIFA.
True. See, we started with happy and we ended with happy.
I know. See,
you know,
I got
a
us
little
there.
Spice in the middle.
Exactly. Okay. Let's end there before we go off the rails. All right.
All right.
We'll leave it there. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you for listening. New episodes air every Friday.
Subscribe on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on Instagram and find us at beyondaballot.com.